What's going on, friends? It's Sunday, and it has been quite some time. It has been quite a while since I've been on here. Just life, work, and everything else, and kiddos, and being an adult, which can stink sometimes. But it is what it is, right? I hope everybody had a great Valentine's Day. Even if you didn't have anybody special, I'm hoping that you realize that you are still important, that you are still loved, and you are somebody's idea of perfection. So, it's been a while. Like I said, there's everything going on. It's been hard to find time to sit down and play some games. Parker plays every once in a while. I'd really like to get back into it, and keep it going, and I enjoy it. I've even slacked on Instagram. We've got lots of followers on Instagram now. You should check us out over on Play Random Retro on Instagram. That'd be cool. I just post video game stuff, fun stuff, funny stuff that I find in the wild. Nothing serious, nothing too crazy, nothing out of hand. I just figured I'd play something light, just kind of talk to y'all and hang out for a little bit. We got Street Fighter 2 Turbo. Man, I loved the Street Fighter games. I feel like that was the highest. You got Street Fighter 2, then you had Street Fighter 2 Turbo, and you had just so awesome, right? I remember thinking it was Funko Land, which was turned into GameStop later on. And I got such the great deal on the new Street Fighter. I thought it was a Street Fighter 2 Turbo, and it wasn't. It was just regular Street Fighter. Because they kind of clearanced that thing out when the Turbo came out. So, Ionic Commando. That game's crazy. There's no jump. It kills me. You do this little thing that shoots out of your arm. Rider. That's a cool game. Destiny Wars. I don't think I've ever played it. This is a Capcom arcade classic thing. Got like 40 games between the two, 1 and 2s, and it was like $10 at one point. So I felt kind of bad spending $10 on a game. I was like, that's so expensive. But it's a lot of really good games, and it came out to a couple cents per game. Let's see where we're at. Like I said, I hope everybody had a great Valentine's. I hope everybody's had a great couple of weeks since we've last talked. That looks cool. Let's play some Commando. Another beat 'em up. I went out of town for work, and you gotta push your right thumbstick for coins. It's hilarious. Went out of town for work, and also went to a funeral this week. That was rough. I really didn't know the guy. It was weird, man. How people act when you're gone. You got your jump, standard punch. Then you got turbo punch. I like the turbo punch. Listen to this guy's story. Older guy. I think he was 87, 88 years old. And he passed. And it was his wife and his loved ones. And it's just crazy seeing, man, how one person touched so many people's lives in such a positive way. And I'm sure there was some not so great stories of this guy. I'm sure there's with anybody and everybody. Nobody, mentioned those obviously at the gentleman's funeral. But I guess what I was touching on was you kind of reflect on things in life, man, and baby robot. You reflect on things and you like, what am I going to be remembered for? Because they had a lot of really great stories about him, how he was a great dad, and he, always made sure his kids were taken care of, and he was a pool hustler, to make money when he was younger. He'd hustle people in pool, and but he kept coming back to the main point of the story was how great of a man he was. And I think about that sometimes, man. I'm like, how are my kids, and how are my kids and my family and all the people around me gonna remember? They're gonna remember me for my outbursts of anger sometimes. They're gonna remember me that I yelled at them because their room was dirty, or they left a mess in the kitchen. Or are they gonna remember me for the bike rides we would go on, and hanging out, and starting this channel, and playing video games together? Are they gonna remember me as the dad that was always at work because he had to go to work because, the bills don't stop. Just because you want a day off doesn't mean anything, right? I mean, is that what they're gonna remember? So it's always, I feel like the older you get, things happen. The older you get, the more religious you become. The older you get, the more you look at things, the more you analyze situations. I just realized that map up there is very Final Fight-ish. The layout. This is very, but all these beat 'em ups are pretty much the same game, right? But what are you going to be remembered for? I don't want my kids to remember me hanging out with them and playing video games and riding bikes, being a goof. I want to be able to make sure they know that there was lessons that I tried teaching them, and I want. So but you also have to be a dad. You can't just be a friend. What kind of friends are you going to have at your funeral? Like, I always think about that. Like, what are people going to say? So I guess seeing it, kind of, like I said, I'm not a young dude, but I'm also not a very old guy. Like, I feel old sometimes. So, I mean, this isn't me wrestling with my own mortality, but, you go to a funeral and it kind of makes you think. Kind of makes you question things sometimes. Why are these dudes naked? Like, why are they running around in a cave with no shirts on? You know what I mean? Like, running around with no shirts. Samson, Oregon. This is hilarious. I've never understood it about these games, though. Like, you always have the bad guys. They all look the same. These dudes starting fires. That's hilarious. Yeah, I don't know, man. Like I said, it just kind of made me question my own mortality. And then, you saw people showing up, and they went to the house afterwards, just family and friends or whatever. And you could see people already divvying up this guy's stuff. I felt really bad for his wife, his widow. They've been together 40-something years, I think. Just crazy, and people already divvying up this man's stuff. It was insane. Like, I guess you gotta surround yourself with good people, man, and make sure that you're in a position where everybody knows your wants and your needs and what's expected of whatever you might have. Like, I don't have anybody that my stuff's gonna go to except for my kids, and that's who anything I owe is gonna go. I want everything to go to my kids, like, but I want it to be. I don't want my kids to fight over anything. It's not like I got a lot. That sounded like I was being whiny. I am very blessed to have what I have, and the things I have, and the people I have. I am beyond blessed, right? So it's not. I'm not saying that, but what I'm saying is I don't have sports cars. I don't have multi-million-dollar properties. So there's really nothing for them to fight over. You know, granted, a $90,000 house that I bought 17 years ago is worth, you know, $350,000 now because of the market. But that's not always going to be like that. You know what I mean? And I know it for younger kids now growing up, it's going to be hard for them to purchase a home because there's no $90,000 homes anymore. You know what I mean? Some of those opportunities aren't there. That doesn't mean don't work hard and don't, you know, do what you have to do in order to be successful. But I want my kids to have a home, and maybe that'll take a little bit of a burden off their back, you know? It's just crazy, man. Just watching this whole thing, and you know, they have I think it was like 26 acres of property, you know, and a nice little home, nothing huge, a little 3-bedroom, very nice home. Well, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, like, you know, just nice. It's a cute house, and you know, they were talking about, well, what are we gonna do with the house? And mind you, his wife is still alive and kicking, and they're talking about what they're gonna, you know, what do they want to do with the house and who's gonna get what. I'm like, that's crazy, dude. That's crazy. It's the people you put around you, man. And unfortunately, sometimes, you know, some of the ones arguing were his kids. A weird little character. It's a baby in a mech suit. Huh. All these beat 'em ups are the same, dude. It's crazy. So we're in Texas. I don't know, you know, weather fluctuates, you know, the weather wherever you're at. But for the past week, the weather has been amazing. You know, after about 6 a.m., you know, when the sun starts to come out, the weather has been just great. Now they're talking about there's another freeze on the way. I'm like, bro, listen, I need y'all to relax. I need no more freezes. I need no more cold weather. I'm fat and old. I don't like cold weather. Cold weather is not my thing. I'm more of a desert people. So this cold weather thing is not it's not making me feel so great. You know, I got a couple weeks ago, holy cow, I had a sinus infection. These guys, are they gonna let me one-on-one it? Okay. Nope, of course not. This thing here, oh, okay. Dude. I do like, though, in the beat 'em ups to where whenever you respawn, it like kind of knocks everybody back. It doesn't, Final Fight doesn't pretty much all of them. Dude, you're being a turd burglar. Come on. This guy. Oh. Ooh, why does he walk like that? Oh no, I'm gonna have to choose somebody else, man. Okay, well that was kind of cool. That dude cut me in half. That was craziness. That dude for real cut me in half. I'm not even upset. I mean, I would be if this was costing me quarters, right? Like, because that was an instant kill right there. I'd be a little upset, but dang it, dude. That's crazy. Speaking of crazy, man, I went to Sam's. I haven't been to Sam's in forever. Um, you will never understand just how much of a fatty you are until you walk into Sam's. My, hey, good ninja, that's cool. My fat little heart was so excited, dude. I got dried mango. I got like this giant thing of cookies. I got this giant thing of beef jerky that was on clearance. And I was like, I didn't come here for any of this. I came for toilet paper. There I was. $90 in on a bunch of snacks. Never go when you're hungry. You're not supposed to go shopping, grocery shopping when you're hungry or anything anyways. But, man. And I didn't know that too much dried mango or apricots or fruit messes with the old tummy. That's a little too much fiber, my friends. That fiber yeah, fiber leads to some interesting situations. My stomach went, hey, you should have eaten all that dry fruit. Let me tell you why. And then commenced to punishing me with gas. And this was before the funeral. Because, I'm a fatty. Like I said, so I bought this dried fruit, and my stomach is bubbling and making all kinds of noises at this funeral. And I feel like a monster. And I am sitting here in this church pew with my stomach making all kinds of noises. And I don't know if anybody else can hear them. The wooden creaking on a floor of a house that's like 5,000 years old. That's the sound my stomach makes. A rusty door. I don't know if anybody else could hear it, but man, I could. Uh-oh. Never good when the next dude is a test tube baby. Ah, crap. What is he, a watermelon? Oh, he just slapped the crap out of me. That was cool, I guess. He looks like a cactus or a watermelon.
Captain Commando.
We're just gonna keep shocking the crap out of you, buddy. Oh, no, never mind.
Captain Commando.
Never mind. Where did barrels come from? The doctor back in the background freaking out. Man, there's so many games on Steam right now that are on sale, and so many really good games. Really good games on sale. I've been finding all kinds of awesome games for like $1, $2, even a lot of free ones that have been just great games. Every free, let's put Ninja Turtles. So this reminds me of Ninja Turtles. You gotta have the water. Dang it. Look at these guys doing their ninja thing on these. No, some of them great games. A lot of free games too. And I've been putting up free games on Instagram. Yeah, come check it out, dude. Like, I've been putting free games. Like, so what happens is we'll buy like a collection of games or whatever, and some of the games we already have, or something we're not going to play because it's not really a game we're into, or if it's just not so appropriate, man. Like, you know, like I said, this whole channel that we did was meant for like family friendly and, you know, kid friendly, and, you know, sometimes we get a little like not the most friendly things, you know, like talked about a funeral a little bit ago, and that's not something everybody wants to hear about. But I'll be honest with you, there's not very many people watching any of these videos, so I'm like, well, you know, you never know what people are dealing with, man. There might have been somebody that needed to hear that. And I think that's what the game plan is going to be going forward. You know, I was going to do a separate channel. But, you know, as Parker gets older, and I'm not saying like overly violent games, you know, I still won't be playing anything that I think goes against my beliefs as a Christian. Let me explain that to you, because I said that and it kind of sounded funny when I said it to myself. I don't want to play a game that has
Baby head.
the pentagrams. Oh, I don't want to play a game that has like abusive children. I don't want to play a game that has a lot of cussing in it. And, I mean, there's horror games, don't get me wrong. I love my Resident Evils and Silent Hills and Left 4 Dead. There's so many great games. That's not what I'm saying. And I know there is those moments in those games. I get it. I understand. But I don't want to purposely find games that are that. You know, there's games that are like Postal, for instance. I know what Postal is. It was based on something that actually happened at a post office. I can't, in good faith, play that game. I'm not interested in it. I'm not interested in things that are overly violent. I'm not a fan of things that are sexually inappropriate. I mean, one, I'm an adult. I'm grown, right? But I don't think that I should be pushing that on people's kids. Same reason there's a lot of things I don't talk about, because I don't want some kid to click on a video and me be talking about something and it not be something that a parent is ready to talk to them about. You know, whether it's religion, whether it's holidays, whether it's belief systems, whether it's right or wrongs. You know, I'll give my opinion on certain things, but it's not my place to do that. It's not my place. It's not my place to ruin a child's childhood. You know what I mean? Like, it's just not. It's not my place. I shouldn't on here say something that a kid hears and they go, hey, to their parent, well, what does that mean? Or is that true? Like, it's not. Come on, dude. Kids have it hard enough. Kids have it hard enough. They don't need the extra pack on of crap. So I don't think I need to add to that. Especially I don't need to add to it for parents. Parents already have a bunch of crap they have to jump through and deal with today, especially if their kids are in public school, or because, you know, you have people pushing things on kids, and it's not right. And I'm not gonna add to it. You know what I mean? So like I said, that's some of those games we get, and I just push them along. I'm like, hey, on Instagram, I'll put them up and go, hey, free game. I'm trying to do it every Friday. Um, Free game. Take this game, enjoy it. I hope you guys have a blast. It's just not something that we're interested in, or something we already have, or it's not something we agree with. And we pass it along, man. And hopefully somebody will get some enjoyment, excitement out of it, with themselves, or maybe they give it to somebody, or maybe that is a game that they get to play with their kids. They get to play with their kid. I'm not judging how people raise their children. What I'm saying is maybe it's a game that they're okay with their kids playing, and it gives a dad and his kids, or a mom and her kids, a few seconds to kind of kick back and connect with each other. That's what I want. So, or dude, you're some 30-year-old dude, want to add it to your Steam account just to have it. I'm like, whatever, I don't care. I don't judge, man. It's there, it's there. So we do that on Instagram, and it's Play Random Retro on Instagram. Nothing inappropriate there either. I post like old video game advertisements, pricing that I see that's crazy. Like the other day, I saw a Nintendo Switch at a pawn shop, and it was the original Nintendo Switch, and it said $399. They wanted $399, and it said hard to find. And I kind of laughed. It was hard to find. They had the little Nintendo Classic, the little Nintendo Mini Classic, and it was $149.99, and it said rare, old school NES. So I mean, stuff like that. I posted those pictures, and but nothing inappropriate, man. Nothing crazy. So check it out if you haven't, if you can. If not, I completely get you, dude, because I'm to the point right now with social media that I'm just over it. Honestly. Social media is so toxic, dude. So toxic. That's one of those things, man. Social media, where I feel like they're pushing people. I always have to randomly explain something to my daughter. She watched a video or heard something, or one of her friends at school said something that she saw in a video. And I'm like, hey, what's this mean? I'm like, crap. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I get one more out of this. I mean, between this and Final Fight, I'd say Final Fight. Dang. I do love that, though. I love how these dudes are humongous. That he barked on me? Dude, what was the game? There was a game. And I was so misled. Oh, Art of Fighting on Super Nintendo. So the dude at Funko Land, which is what GameStop turned into, which was so much better than GameStop, and they didn't sell freaking pops or bubbleheads, whatever the heck they're called. They actually sold video games and stuff. The dude told me, I've got so many stories about Funko Land. The dude told, follow him. The dude told me, he said, Art of Fighting was like Final Fight, and he was like, oh yeah, because I wanted Final Fight. They didn't have it, And he's like, oh, no, this is good. This is just like it. Da, da, da. So I was excited, dude. So I was like, all right, cool. So I buy the Art of Fighting. It was a super crappy, which I'll get some pushback for this. It was a super crappy fighting game, like a Street Fighter kind of game. Very Neo Geo-ish drawn. Like, it sucked, dude. Like, I could have got Mortal Kombat 2 or something, and I got the Art of Fighting, and it was $29.99. It was gross, dude. I think when I went to take it in to trade it back in, they wouldn't return it. But that same day, I went back up there. I rode my fat little self on my bike. Swapped it out. Told me I needed an adult. That's ridiculous. So then I had my mom go up there with me, and they told her they couldn't do it because unless it was defective. And I was like, okay, I'll break this bad boy. And they're like, we'll just give you another one. Anywho, so so weird. He looks like he's just falling apart. The way he walks, his legs looks like a burn victim. I can say that because I'm a burn victim. Anyways, I like that little move he's got there. I like it. Yeah, that Art of Fighting. So I tried returning it. They said no, and they told me I could trade it in and offered me $7 trading credit. To be turned into a skeleton. $7 trade in. I was like, what? It's been 2 days at this point. Like, nope, that's the price for use traded. Yeah. I remember I took it to school and I traded, man, like 5 games. Like some ultimate bass fishing, which, dude, listen, hate all you want. Bass fishing games are a blast. Maximum Carnage. It was a red game. I think it was Super Nintendo. Red cartridge. I think it was Maximum Carnage. A game called Bob. He was a robot. That just destroyed everybody and everything. And then got destroyed when he got off the first level. Like the first boss or whatever, I think. Like it just non-stop destroyed you. Like you couldn't beat him. The bass fishing game was fun, dude. Bass fishing was really fun. It shouldn't have been as fun as it was. Oh, and Balls. That was such a crappy game. It was a fighting game, and it was all your characters made out of like round balls of different colors. If you have not played or seen Balls, you're really okay. Yeah, you'll be alright. Like you're fine. Come on, man. Yeah, that ball game's almost as bad as Clay Fighter. I think there was a bunch of the Balls games too. Like Clay Fighter had like 5. Turn me into barbecue. Hey, I looked down at my phone for 2 seconds to check text message. It was game over. I started getting murdered. Oh man, you know, it's Sunday. We did church. That was cool. Hope everybody else had a great Sunday, man. Surrounded by family and friends. Really cool thing happened, man. I reconnected with a friend. This guy was my best friend. I mean, like, from diapers. When I say from diapers, I'm being serious. Like, his mom worked with my dad at the hotel. At a hotel. Like, it was like when Holiday Inn was actually a nice thing. And it was a high end. His mom and my dad worked together. And, I tried doing the Vega and like jump. So I knew. Come on, bud. Dang, I'm starting to try to have bones. Yeah, so I haven't talked to this dude in so long. He was like my best friend though. I mean, like, we always talked about when we had kids, our kids were gonna hang out together and go to school together and be best friends. And I mean, this was my dude. Like, we had a rent house together when we got older. You know, things happened, man. And we separated from each other. And, you know, I had a marriage, got married, he got married, you know. And I just lost touch with the man, and we just didn't talk, you know. I would always message his mom on Facebook with, hey, I hope you guys are good, man. I miss you guys. You know, she was, we're good, you know, just every work and, you know, blah, 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 and everything. I was like, yeah, I understand completely. We'll make time. We'll find time to get together. This dude calls me the other day, and for me to say this with a straight face sounds kind of weird, right? But I'm a grown man. Like, I have suffered loss, I have had gain, I have suffered, you know, the death of people around me. I have everything, every emotion, you know. This dude came up and he called me, and his voice to go, hey, there he is. His mom, you know, gave him a number, I think, is how that happened. And to be so excited, dude. For me to be a grown man and say that sounds weird, but so excited that my best friend called me. It's silly. It sounds so silly, man. It sounds so silly and so weird to say it. But like, my best friend called me, you know, and like, we talked on the phone for like 2 freaking hours. He's like, yeah, we're still down the street, you know, blah, blah, blah. And we need to get together and have lunch, you know, and I'm doing good. And made my heart so happy, dude. You know, like, so, you know, we're back, we're texting every day, you know, or every other day. It feels good to have a friend again, to have your oldest friend. I mean, my oldest friend, guys. You know, to have him back is crazy to me. You know, we haven't hung out or anything. You know, he's working. He's trying to take care of his kiddo. He's trying to, you know, everything going on. I get it, man. I applaud and appreciate. You know, and I've been busy. We're just trying to, you know, find time. But man, you know, such an awesome feeling, dude. Such an awesome feeling. So, I'm being a bit of a sissy, but Yeah, this guy was a friend for so long, man. Um, Such a good dude. And like whenever his mom was going to actually move out of state, yeah, he was such a fixture, man. Growing up with me, like his his mom at least it was gonna move out, talking about moving out of state, being married. He wanted to stay in school here, and my mom actually was like, "Okay, we're gonna figure this out." Tried adopting him. He was gonna adopt him so he could stay here and go to school with us. And dude, what a turd! Okay, buddy. Okay, buddy. This is just designed to take all your coins. What a jerk! Dang it, dude. I think that ninja would have been perfect if he did a little weird spark attack thing. Yeah, man, just to, parents like I said they were gonna adopt him so he could stay here. It just, man, to hear that dude's voice, it sounds so silly for a grown man to say that, but I'm telling you, man, like, it's good when you're, especially when you get older, dude. You want to have your people. Like, you want, I've even thought about a lot lately joining a group at church. And here's the thing: the church I go to is a large church. It's a big church. It's in a nice area, which I don't live in. I like it. It's a big church, but then also the reason I like it being a big church is nobody knows who I am. They don't know I exist if I walk in late. It's a big church, right? But everybody is always very sweet and very friendly, right? So me going, oh, I don't like, people on there, it's just, I don't like the attention. I want to be able to sneak in and out and go and listen and, all that fun stuff. So that's why I go to that church. But I thought about joining maybe one of the groups, like make a men's group, joining a men's group just to make some new friends, man. I've got a couple people in my life, like, I got this dude that I've grown up with from middle school named Omar, good dude. I've got people, man, but not people I associate with all the time. You know what I mean? Like, and don't get me wrong, like I know this my buddy Omar. I can call that dude. I have. I mean, middle of the night, I've called him. My car broke down. I was like, bro, like, can you get a trailer? Like, but I've called him to go, hey, I just wanted to check in, man, see how everybody's doing. He does the same thing with me. So, like, I've got friends like that, but, you also want to have a connection where you go barbecue with somebody, man. You go to somebody's house, you go play pool with somebody, I want that too, man. Like, it's hard, man, the older you get. And I try explaining that to my boys. They're young. Same thing with my daughter. The friends that you have today aren't always going to be the friends you have tomorrow. Some of us are blessed and fortunate enough for that to be the case. Majority aren't. So, did we just beat this, friends? Did we just beat this game? Last stage cleared, huh? My dear people.
Captain Commando.
Captain Commando. Like, I don't know why we can do this. I mean, it's cool that you can look around the other arcade machines. I wasn't looking at what everybody else was playing when I was playing, man. I was busy losing my shirt. We beat it, guys. That's pretty cool, man. That's pretty cool. Man, the 80s and early 90s was a different time, wasn't it? You know how mad I'd have been to buy this game on Super Nintendo for like $60. And it be that short of a game. First place, baby. Look at that. Look at that. You got a 50th place? Holy crap. Capcom. Like, that's cool. You see the little joysticks? Well, hey, guys. I'm going to hop off here, man. It has been a long day. I just wanted to jump on here and talk to you guys for a second, tell you I didn't forget about you guys, and that I love you. I love you guys. Some people don't know how to take that, man. Take it however you want to take it. I appreciate you guys. Know that you are something special to somebody, man. And thank you for hanging out if you're hanging out. If not, that's cool too. But just be good to each other, man. Take care of your friends and family. Know that you're loved and appreciated. I hope y'all have a great Monday tomorrow. Yeah, Monday tomorrow. I hope you'll have a great day tomorrow, Monday. No matter what you do, man, I hope you rock it out. I hope it's successful. And I hope that you realize just how blessed you truly are. Remember, guys, I'm on Instagram. You guys can shoot me a message on there if you want. I'm going to work my hardest, man, to get back to people on there. I had people message me and I'll get an email and I feel bad, but, you know, I messaged back a day later. I had somebody reach out to me the other day and said that they were, their parents were getting divorced. And, you know, that they didn't, like, it was kind of weird because I had put up a game and one of the codes, it was on Friday, one of the free game codes, and the kid's like, hey man, thank you, blah blah blah, and he had messaged me, said thank you so much, dude, I got the game, it's really cool, it's keeping me busy while my parents are getting divorced. He's 12, and he's like, you know, it's just hard, it's hard, you know, parents get divorced, this is just, you know, I'm at my dad's now, and all I have is my computer, and you know, I messaged him back, but I'm so sorry, you know, things happen, you know, I kind of went through the paces, man, and he messaged me back, and we just been kind of going back and forth, and I know what it's like for things to suck every once in a while, you know, but the hardest thing you ever dealt with is the hardest thing you've ever dealt with. There's so many people out there having so much worse, man. So I'm trying really hard. I'm gonna check all these messages that come through. There's a lot don't come through, but I get now and then, you know. But just know, man, you guys are appreciated. You are loved. You need anything, reach out, guys, and I'm gonna try my hardest to reach right back out to you. And I hope you'll have an amazing day once again tomorrow. Be good to each other, and I will see y'all soon, man. Thanks for hanging out. All right, guys.